So there are, well, okay. A lot of stuff we're talking about with Reese, Scoville, and Marilyn is speculative. So let's not do speculation. We're just going with what all sides here are admitting. So, did Marilyn admit she committed crimes against children? Yes. Did Scoville, quote, admit he committed a statutory crime? Correct. Though he's gaslighting the details, we'll bracket that. He's definitely misleading people. Yes, he admitted he committed statutory crimes. Okay, now we get to Relatable Reese. And people are speculating, okay, I don't get it. I understand you suing Marilyn because she's a piece of garbage and she has been lying for a long time. I'm not defending Marilyn at all. She has got herself in a lot of hot water constantly, and I will conclude myself just making false statements about a lot of people. So it's like, all right, well, the bill is going to come due eventually, and here it is. But Relatable Reese, to put it mildly, has a very loose relation to the truth. And to put it mildly, she has insulted and slandered Scoville. So why no lawsuit? So there are two major factors. We know the more juicy one is threat. So Relatable Reese is admitting she did have some contact with Scoville after the quote long con video. For the new people, I'll go through it quickly. Basically, what happened is Reese recorded Scoville without his knowledge, admitting to being a con artist and going into details about conning women out of thousands and thousands of dollars. She published an edited version. The edits were questionable, but the basic gist was correct. And to put it mildly, Scoville suffered. He lost thousands of subscribers, clearly lost a lot of money because Reese published the video. So if this suit is about damages, why not sue her? Well, I don't think people are listening to the guy, and granted, he is a liar. He has been caught red-handed lying outright to people. But I don't think he's on weak grounds here. What he said specifically is, if you lie about him, Reese wasn't lying. That audio file were his own words. Right, so he could argue maybe she was clipping or it was distortive, etc., etc. But he's not going to be able to contest the substance. Those were your own words. That's what you said. So people acting on your own words, you can't sue for that. There's no damages. If those statements are true, he's not denying they were true. He's denying, well, there's a bigger context or it's a little distortive, etc., etc., etc. Right, nice. However, did you say these things? The answer is yes. That's his voice. You'd have to affirm in a court of law. Yeah, that's my voice. Was the recording even illegal? No, technically it's not illegal. I mean, you're just talking to your girlfriend. Right. Relatable Reese and Tommy were boyfriend-girlfriend for a while. Okay, so that's all affirmed. There's nothing to sue over. He would have no grounds. You can't sue people about the truth. What he's saying is Marilyn is lying about him. That's apples and oranges, boys and girls. That's just textbook law 101. You can't sue about the truth. He's saying Marilyn is lying, and he is correct. Marilyn is lying. So there you go. It's not hard to understand. But let's get to the more juicy part, which is, okay, after and during the long con video too. So the long con video is not just her playing his confessions. She added a lot of supporting anecdotes. And in that first initial long con video, she affirmed she felt really unsafe and threatened, and she felt that Scoville would kill her. That's what she said, but then she pulled down the video. And a day later was like, yeah, I don't think he's going to hurt me. Okay, that is quite whiplash that you went from publish the video and you think your life is in danger too. No, my life is not in danger. In fact, he's not going to sue me because she promises. Obviously, there is more. There are more audio files. There is more text. There's screenshots. You say many things about Relatable Reese. She probably has tons and tons of information on Scoville. And he knows that. So she's not going to get touched. And good or bad, if what she publishes is true, he's got no legal grounds. You can't do a cease and desist. Because, like, well, that's all true, right? Yeah, it is true. Okay. Maybe he'd get away with, well, some recordings were illegal and things like that. But if most of what she can publish to the public is fine, it's factually true, you can't sue for that. So there we go. So it seems what we have is a standoff. That she is threatening him. That if you do come after me, I'm going to unleash more material. It's going to be very devastating. And clearly he's like, okay, got it. Message communicated. You're not part of this lawsuit. Now, does this damage his lawsuit? No, because like I said, the legal doctrine here is about false statements. So as long as he narrowly keeps it to that side, he's fine. Now, Marilyn might bring up that Relatable Reese did a lot of damage by publishing the long con. That's correct. But we also have to be truthful here. That even though Marilyn was repeating a lot of the long con, she was going into aspects that Reese has avoided completely. She has avoided getting into Scoville's sex crimes, for lack of a better word. She does not try to get into it at all. She says, oh, those are rumors. I don't really know what to believe. These are allegations. They're not allegations. So there, she's pleading ignorance. Now, good or bad, we know she's lying, by the way, but she's claiming, I really don't know, guys. I don't know anything about that. I'm not going to get into that. He's admitted to the statutory. That's about it. Now, she's going further. She's affirming, oh, no. He definitely did not, quote, rape children. Now, again, being technical with the semantics, that is correct. He's guilty of one crime against one minor. That's it. So I think it's horrific that Reese is playing ignorant with such a serious subject. Which, by the way, just to do the full circle of hypocrisy, she considers Jeff, her ex-husband, sleeping, just having sex with other women, abuse. She considers Jeff yelling at her and her son, Hux, abuse. Okay, fine. And she talks about that. She talks about that a lot. So Jeff acting badly towards her and her son, that's abuse. We're going to talk about that. But Scoville's record, I don't want to talk about that. I'm just noting the insane hypocrisy. Okay, fine, whatever. But that is not an issue for the court. Now, can Marilyn try to bring in what Reese did? Yeah, in assessing damages. The problem is this, that, and I charted this, so I'm not pulling down my videos. I did chart, he lost at least several thousand people and clearly lost some income from what Reese did. But all he has to show, because good or bad, Reese stopped doing it. She took down the long con video. So clearly they worked out an agreement saying, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to go further with this. I may refer to it here and there, but we're finished. And she's told her audience, I remember a specific stream where she said, guys, we did that. We're done. I'm moving on. And clearly he doesn't want to talk about Reese anymore. So both sides apparently worked out some kind of agreement. And good or bad, legally speaking, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the whole point of these lawsuits. Both sides come to some kind of agreement. That's the whole point. Now, is it right? Is it just? No. It's not justice. We're just talking the legalities. She's not doing anything wrong. Can Marilyn read into the record what Reese did? Maybe not. What he has to prove is Marilyn talking about his sex crimes did damages, and it clearly did. So I don't know what Marilyn's talking about. I think she makes it seem as if, well, the long con video gave her license to talk about Scoville being, quote, a molester. It does not, because that is not in the long con video. Nothing in the long con video refers to a statutory case. It doesn't refer to any kind of sex crimes. Period. Right? Now, Relatable Reese did talk about, well, he's a very suspicious customer. She gave additional anecdotes. However, she was careful. She's talking about his character. He may be into drug dealing, into what, a drug addict. Nowhere in the long con video or in her added commentary is she saying, oh, by the way, I think he's a molester. She's not saying that. What she's trying to say is he's violent, he takes drugs, and he's a con artist. Again, you can be all those things. That does not license you to say, oh, by the way, he's also this, and this. That is not how the law works. And Marilyn has gone far beyond that. So that's all Scoville has to prove. One, you've gone far beyond the long con video. Did she do that? Yes. And two, that did damages. I don't see how Marilyn's going to get out of that. She could be clever and say, well, Relatable Reese destroyed the... He has to prove reputation destroyed by false statements. Correct. Damages done based on truth, you can't collect for that, ever, in any court of law. But damages done based on false statements, you can. Marilyn, read a law book. Get a law dictionary. These things exist. Use them. Stop being stupid.